All right, here we are at our 2008 Larson Senza 206. This is a 20.5 foot open bow Bowrider for sale. We're here near Lake Cumberland, Kentucky today. And of course, as usual, you will find the current asking price as well as all the features and options and specifications of this one all at our website, which is at www.yournewboat.com. We don't usually mention the asking prices in our video walkthrough tours because they often change until a listing is sold. However, for your convenience, we will have a direct link to this listing down in the video description just down below. And if you'll take the time to look in that video description, either copy and paste or click on that link, that will take you right to this listing for this one, where you're going to see all the specs, features, and then you'll see our contact information. You'll be able to reach out to us by phone, by text, or by email, whatever's most convenient for you. We always like to remind you, if you call us on the phone, get our voicemail, keep in mind we're often in areas without cell phone reception, so if you'll please leave us a detailed message, let me know which listing you're looking at, what questions you have. As soon as I either finish with the customer or get back into cell phone range, I can receive your message and can return that call and answer all those questions for you. That way, if I happen to also get your voicemail, I can leave you all those answers on your voicemail to save some phone tag. So this appears to be a very low hour boat. Appears that as though it's always been in freshwater, but we'll have the full history of this one in the specs for it at our website. And we're gonna take a walk around the exterior and then we'll climb inside. Again, this is a Larson Senza 206 and it is sitting on a aluminum I-beam tandem axle trailer with brakes, as well as the guide post. And the trailer does have 2016 tires, but 3 out of 4 of those did have some dry rot on there, so anybody that's taking this outside the area, we can work with you to get those replaced before you head down the highway with this one. This is powered by a Volvo Penta 5.0 liter. That's the small block V8 inboard outboard stern drive engine. We've got single prop outdrive here and a 3-step swim boarding ladder. That's what we're going to use to climb up into the interior of this one. And here's your ski tow hook right here in the middle of your little integrated swim platform. We've got a Bimini top overhead that I'll be ducking under whenever I climb into this one. And there's basically 2 covers for this one. We've got a red basically matching canvas mooring cover, and then as well as kind of a universal cover that they've been using on top of that just for some additional protection when this one is stored and covered. Now, you'll always hear me really like when there's a way to get from the water into the boat without having to step on your seats, and that's the first thing that drew my attention on this Larson when I started going through this one. So not only is this, you've got like the flip up walkthrough here that's kind of integrated into this large rear Sunpad that also doubles as your engine cover, but you'll see as I step down into the interior, I also will not have to step on a seat there. Let me give you a little bit of a look here of this cockpit before we step down inside. Now I'll go ahead finish that, and then before I head to the helm, I'll show you this just as easy as it flips up, it flips right back down. And then we've got a filler cushion for this one as well. This is on basically some straps that just tucks right in place, and of course this seat will lift up. Now originally there would have been a small little integrated probably igloo cooler that set in there. That looks like it's going to accommodate a lot of different size coolers. But again, this center seat here, this is on snaps. You can either kind of flip that under the way I had it, leave it in place, or completely remove it. So got some additional storage areas kind of built in underneath this rear bench seat. Originally there would have been some snapping carpeting here in the cockpit, and that has been removed long ago. And I say that because the snaps were removed as well, which if you're not a big fan of the cockpit carpet, I don't blame anyone one bit taking those snaps out, because they can catch some toes and they're not comfortable when you step on them. So we do have the driver and passenger flip up bolster seats, and that simply means that you've got basically a built-in little booster seat there. Instead of having to sit on your throwable or anything like that, you can just flip that right up. That's what this is meant for, to give you a better view looking over your helm area there. We do have a tilt steering wheel here at your helm, and then we've got a stainless cup holder mounted just below the steering wheel to the right of the driver. And then here at your helm, we've got a 12-volt power outlet, we've got a functional horn, we've got some interior courtesy lights, we've got a working bilge pump. Our nav lights we have function tested. Those all work, your anchor light and your running lights. We've got a Garmin GPS map 440S. This is a Chartplotter and a Sonar, or fish finder, or depth finder. We've got a cluster gauge here with fuel, battery volts, and your tachometer, as well as a speedometer, engine oil pressure, and engine water temperature. Gauges here just a little bit cloudy, a little bit of discoloration on those. And then these here kind of look like they've been replaced more recently. This is your engine trim gauge. And you've got a built-in hour meter here. Now, this one only shows 79 hours, and that hour meter does appear to be functional. And here's your Garmin screen. I like doing the split screen here where you can kind of do the combination Chartplotter and Sonar. And that'll give you a look of what that's like. Obviously that depth finder is not going to be functional right now because we're out of the water. But that does kind of give you an idea. You've got a little integrated Chartplotter map. This is also going to tell you your GPS speed as well. And then do your Sonar or fish finder, or depth finder, whatever you like to call those. Basically all mean the same thing, although you can have a depth finder without necessarily a fish finder. But most sonars are going to be a little bit more detailed, so they'll also locate fish, and different settings on there where you can do a fish ID or have it tell you how deep the fish it sees, and even can do a fish alarm on some of those. So functioning blower as well. We've got a nice large in-floor storage locker. We've got some fenders, of course your poles for your mooring cover, and some paddles there as well. And then over here by your passenger seat, of course I showed you this flip-up bolster right here. We've got another stainless cup holder right here, and then we've got a small little glove box right here. And then this houses our Jensen. This is a AM, FM, auxiliary input, CD stereo, satellite ready CD stereo, should mention that. And we've got 4 speakers on board. This one's rated for 10. We've got 6 stainless steel cup holders. There's one of those right here. Here's one of those 4 speakers. We've function tested those speakers. Those all appear to be working just fine as well. Go through our little bow walkthrough here. Show you your open bow seating. You got some grab handles, 2 more stainless cup holders, and 2 more of your marine stereo speakers up here as well. We've got basically integrated storage underneath all of your seating up here. Your little clip right there, it's going to hold these in place. And then basically you've got 3 compartments up here. This one has your anchor chain and some rope stored away. And same thing over here. This one's empty, so you see that little drain in the bottom of that. We've got 5 pull-up cleats. This one here would be meant for your anchor. And then 2 more on your port and starboard sides, and then 2 more near the stern. Now then, we saw the little flip-up walkthrough here. Bear with me here. I'm going to give our engine hatch a good little tug. Might need 2 hands for this one. Well, there we go. Just had trouble getting a grip on that one there with one hand. So about the camera shaky footage there while we lifted that up. So here's that Volvo. Again, it's the 5.0 liter GL. That basically means gas engine. This one is carbureted. Volvo runs a Holley carburetor on theirs. And there's your onboard battery. That does have a quick disconnect on it, which is also handy. And then basically you've got 2 integrated storage areas. You can see we basically have little mounts down here, kind of meant to hold some storage totes, some netting as well, so your whatever gear you put down there doesn't get into the engine. It's, again, this is a very clean, low-hour boat, or low-time boat anyway. This is the, our storage cover right there, your mooring cover. Again, just basically 79 hours showing on this one. We'll round that up, we'll call it 80. And we'll go ahead and let that down. Poster all appears to be original and in really good condition. We've got a little bit of staining on in some areas around the tops of these. Now this staining in this area, this can be pretty stubborn. Very difficult to remove. Sometimes you get lucky and either some white vinegar or some magic eraser kind of take that off of there. Just got to be careful not to let it sit on there too long, because they can kind of run down and bleach other materials out, or even the red. You want to avoid using that on your colored vinyl. Now, as you can see, we've got basically some stitching that they've added, and looks like basically anywhere where those seams were getting a little bit stretched, they've gone in and stitched those up and prevented them from getting any worse. So a little bit of stitching can go a long way. 2 small little scuffs right in here. Maybe the start of a tear, but it's definitely not torn all the way through. And I really think that was about the only areas we noticed. Otherwise, we've just had a lot of seams kind of re-stitched to prevent them from getting worse. Oh, and what I thought was maybe a rip turned out to just be a little bit of dirt, and then we've got some more kind of seam stitching back in here. And again, that's all, it's really all good maintenance, because if you do that soon enough, it's going to keep that from getting really stretched out and ripped or torn. So I believe that's just about going to do it for the interior of this one. Do have a canvas Bimini top overhead. I'm going to flip up this walkthrough one more time and pull this one back out of the way so I don't step on it. Walk right off, and then we'll get up close and personal around the exterior. There was not a lot of wear and tear on this one. Outdrive appears to be fairly recently serviced. The bellows all look to be in really good condition. Not sure if you can see my finger in there, but these, you want these to have a nice flex to them, and they appear to do that. It's when they get real stiff and brittle is when those tend to fail. And going around the exterior, so we've got kind of some black marks in the white here, and this is not scratched. It's likely just rubbed off from something on a dock, a black fender, something like that. And even this right here, I kind of thought that was a mark originally, and it's not. You've got a little bit of maybe some water stains in the vinyl decaling, or maybe a little oxidation in this decaling, but the boat itself, except for a few areas up here near the bow, where I'll show you right here near our bow eye, a few areas right in here where you've got a little bit into the gel coat. Here's a good example right here. So that's kind of through the gel coat into the fiberglass. Those 2 marks right there, and then some smaller ones right in here, same sort of thing. Now that's well up above the water line, so that's really nothing critical to worry about. Clean hull line on this one. You've got some very minor little gel coat scratches down near the center of this V. That could have just been from hitting some smaller objects, smaller sticks in the water. Could have been from some beaching. And another kind of similar, very, very thin mark in the gel coat right in here where maybe something was on that trailer bunk. But nothing deep, nothing into the fiberglass. And then here's some more of those kind of black marks just up on the white hull sides. And to me, this looks like it's rubbed off from a fender or something like that. But good detailing. It's typically going to remove this stuff. I use a little bit of cleaner on there to see if it would disappear. Some of it did, but not all of it. But typically just a real good professional detailer doing some buffing on this is going to get rid of those little black marks there, because none of that really was appear to be into the gel coat at all. So this would be like one area right here. It's just a very minor little scuff on there. It's almost a scratching in the gel coat, but you know, my fingernail did not catch an edge on that, so typically that's going to come right off with a buff and a wax as well. So coming around here on the port side, same thing, very clean. Below the water line, we've got another little kind of a gel coat scratch right in here, just kind of forward of this bunk. Sometimes you'll have a little bit of a screw head sticking out on those. Sometimes just a little stick kind of gets in between the boat and the bunk, and we'll make a mark like that. But again, that part right there is just barely catching an edge. And then similar up here, some marks in your vinyl decaling on this side. A few more marks on the vinyl decaling on this side. That's where it's kind of scratched into something, but again, that all appears to be limited to just scratches on the vinyl decaling in all these areas. The hull line itself does appear to be very clean. There's a few more little lighter scuffs right in here, and we're trying to photograph this. I'm not sure how well it'll show up, but these are just barely catching a finger edge. That's definitely not all the way through the gel coat. But those marks will be there after detail, but you really have to look closely to even see that one. These black marks, you know, in this area right here, all that's going to come right out with a good detail. Small little gel coat scratch right in here. Fingernail just barely catches that edge. And then a few little scuffs on your rub rail right here, but that's what the rub rail is meant to do. We'll have fuel tank capacity of this one listed in the PDF spec sheet for this one on our website. Another little scuff right here near this transom, but again, otherwise very clean back here. Transom's clean. Don't have those typical marks in the corners from pulling away from a dock by cutting your wheel too hard. And again, that is a aluminum I-beam trailer, guide post, small block V8 on this one. It's a nice power package for this size boat. It's got a good little V to it. It's going to be a good riding boat. And that's just about going to do it for this one. So again, I do like to remind you, visit the website for the current asking price, the full list of features and specifications, as well as our contact info. We do not monitor the YouTube comment page. So if you do have any questions about this one, please don't hesitate to reach out to us through the website. We're easy to get a hold of. Website's very easy to navigate, and again, for your convenience, there will be a direct link to this listing down in the video description. So all you gotta do is look down in that description. You won't have to go searching through the website. That'll take you right to that page of this one. And again, once you do make it to that page, there'll be a link on the left-hand side of that page. One for the video tour, take you right back to where you're at now, and another for a printable PDF spec sheet. It's going to be a little bit more detailed than the other written description found to the left of the larger photo for that photo slideshow page. So again, this is the 2008 Larson Senza 206 low hour 5.0 liter Volvo Penta powered a little bit of staining right back here on the swim platform, and that is both of those kind of stains are coming through this hinge, either from the screws or hardware within this hinge not being marine grade stainless, or sometimes you'll have a little bit of wood on this engine hatch, and a little bit of that water will get into there and then kind of stain that out. Otherwise, everything is fairly clean and in good condition. I thank you again for joining us on this one. As always, you'll see the yournewboat.com logo pop up in the top right hand corner of the screen. That's just a shortcut to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, we're always happy to have you as a subscriber. And I thank you very much for joining us for this one.